Okay, children, today we are going to read through chapter 6 and we're going to find out exactly what's going on with Toto, Silver and Catface. After all, this is Toto the Ninja Cat and the Great Snake Escape. Chapter 6. It was all going to plan. The cats had made it into the zoo, big tick, survived the reptile house, big tick, not been killed and eaten by tigers, a bigger tick, and they knew where Brian was heading, a massive tick. Lastly, Silver had eaten an ice cream, tickety-tick. They made their way out of the zoo and down a steep slope toward the canal. The night air was freezing cold and the grass was crispy with frost under their paws, but getting warm was the last thing on their minds. They had a snake to catch. Before too long they came to the sewer entrance. Neither Toto nor Silver really fancied going down there. It sounded like it was smelly, dirty and wet. And ever since they'd found out where Brian was heading, Catface had been as quiet as a dormouse. "Listen, chaps," Catface suddenly spoke up, looking nervous. "There's something I've been meaning to tell you. We're about to enter a lair of rats. They'll be everywhere down there, and they'll be scared of you because you're cats. But not me, because they know me, because I'm from there, because I'm not exactly a cat. I'm more, how can I put it? Well, I'm a rat." Toto stared, her mouth wide open. Silver did a backward somersault. "I knew it! I just knew it! You can't jump, you have funny teeth, and you're way too weird for a cat. What happens now? Do we eat you?" No. We do not eat him," Toto said. "Catface, what are you talking about?" "Well, as you know, my nickname is Catface. It was given to me by my family, but not in a nice way. It's because I looked so much like a cat, and no one knows why. My real name is Alexandra Ratinov. Alexandra after the man who discovered the Black Plague, which, by the way, wasn't our fault. It was the pesky fleas, and the surname is Ratinov. See?" "Right," said Toto, "but why do you live your life as a cat?" "It's very simple and also a bit complicated. I am from rat royalty. You can trace my family back to 1665. They survived the Great Fire of London, and since then the Ratinovs have ruled Rat London, along with 5 other rat families. I am the rightful heir to the throne. Unfortunately, I was far from welcome in polite rat society. Imagine, the heir born looking like our sworn enemy. To my father, I was a disgrace. So I started leaving the sewers and coming up here, and I realised that I quite liked it. No one thought I was a rat. I was treated as one of them, one of you. I got to hang round street corners, I learnt to do a pretty decent meow, and everyone seemed to like me, so eventually I just became..." "A cat?" said Toto. "Exactly," said Catface, "but when my father heard I was friends with the enemy, bringing shame upon our good name, I was banished for good. And now I have to go down there and face him again. But there's a king cobra on the loose who just happens to love eating rats, and I do still love my family, so I guess I've got no choice. Are you still with me?" "Of course we are," said Toto. "Until a couple of hours ago we didn't really know anyone in this town. Now we couldn't imagine living anywhere else. That's down to you. Rat or cat, you're our friend, Catface. Or should we call you Alex?" "Catface will do just fine," grinned their new rat friend, whose teeth really did look quite rat-like when they thought about it. "We won't let you down," said Toto. "Besides, who knew rats could be so charming, right, Silver?" "So just to be clear," said Silver, "we're not going to eat him." Catface looked pale. "It was a joke," said Silver. "Of course, sis. Catface is the rat's whiskers." "Let's go into the lair of rats that hate us to find a cobra who'll eat us. It should be fun. So, taking one last look at the London night, they took a deep breath and entered the sewer. "Get your scrap burger here, get them while they're hot." The yell of the rat market trader was the first thing the brave animal gang heard when they emerged into the central square of Ratborough, the capital of Rat London, which for you and I is about 15 metres under Camden High Street. They travelled through the dark, smelly sewers for what seemed like ages, trying to avoid bumping into any rats along the way. Luckily, as there were so many smaller tunnels leading off from the main one, which they could hide in when necessary, they had gone undetected. But as they got closer to the town, it became busier and busier, so Catface had pulled his hat right down and hidden the cats under his coat tails. After a while, the sewer tunnels got bigger and bigger, and they started to pass small rat houses made from mud and rubbish. The houses got larger and grander, until finally the tunnel opened onto the huge town square. In the middle was a vast park, made by buildings from plastic glass bottles, tin cans and toilet rolls. A sewer river ran through it all, and just nearby the food market was in full swing. "Catface, this place is incredible," said Silver. "Is this where you're from?" asked Toto. "I was born and bred here. I grew up in the palace over there," Catface said, pointing to a beautiful building made from glass Coca-Cola bottles. There were rats everywhere. Luckily, they were all too busy going about their business to notice the large rat under a hat who looked like a cat, and the two tails that stuck out from underneath his tweed jacket. The smell from the food stalls was overwhelming. Fried, dirty, slightly off meat. Silver loved it. "Now this is my kind of place. What's in a scrap burger anyway?" "You don't want to know, my friend," replied Catface. "Let's just say the clue is in the name." "So what's the plan?" asked Toto as they found a quieter corner to huddle in. "We can't just start screaming. There's a king cobra on the loose. Run for the hills. Are there even any hills here?" "No and no," said Catface, glancing down. "Oh, Silver, not again." Silver had slipped out from beneath Catface's coattails and was hiding in a bush next to a scrap burger stand. Just as his paw was about to nab one of the burgers, the stallholder turned and caught him in the act. At first the stallholder looked furious, then confused, then scared. "Thief! Cat! Cat thief!" he screamed. Within seconds, from the four corners of the square ran 10 uniformed rats, armed with pikes, which looked suspiciously like toothpicks, who surrounded the cats. "Sorry, sis, thought I'd get away with it," said Silver, sheepishly backing away. "Any ideas, Catface?" "Alas, no," he said. "This is the King's Guard, the elite warriors of my father's army. I'm his son, and even I'm not sure I can talk us out of this one." "Right then," said Toto. "I've got this." She took a step back and closed her eyes. She could sense the guards were all big, strong and armed, but at least she knew exactly where they were. Drawing a deep breath, she emptied her mind and knew what to do. As the first guard moved to attack, she dodged and leapt up into the air, avoiding the stabbing toothpick that was heading her way. She hung in the air for what seemed like an age, then swept her back foot around in a circle, swiping the surrounding rats in their faces with her spiky claws. By the time she landed half a second later, all 10 rat guards were lying on the ground groaning. "Classic ninja move," said Silver, grinning. "One of my favourites." Catface was staring open-mouthed, but reinforcements were coming from all sides, and before they knew it, 100 or so armed rats had surrounding them. "She can take them all. Just watch her," said Silver excitedly. "Enough!" A booming voice echoed around the whole square. All eyes turned towards the palace as the owner of the voice started to walk down the stairs towards them. He was enormous, dressed in fine robes with a ridiculous old-fashioned hat. He also looked quite a lot like a cat. "Let me guess," said Toto. "Your dad?" "Yes, he's the king all right," said Catface. "Whatever you do, do not say that we look like each other." You look exactly like each other, protested Silver. Not a word, said Catface. Let me see if I can handle this. Wish me luck. Catface took off his hat and walked towards his dad. The guards gave way, suddenly realising who he was. You, the king sounded furious. Who gave you permission to return here? You have been banished to live with the surface dwellers you love so much. I know for a fact that you are still seen in the company of cats. Cats! The whole town square took a massive gasp as one. And now I see you return with 2 cat assassins to overthrow me and claim the crown for yourself. You know, that's not a bad idea, whispered Silver to Toto. Father, said Catface, I've done no such thing. I'm here to help you. It is true I am a surface dweller, which is a weird thing to call them, by the way, but there are many creatures up there who wish us no harm. These are my friends, Catface continued, gesturing to Silver and Toto, and we come with a warning. You have to listen to us. A king cobra, the terrifying monster known only as Brian, has escaped from the zoo and could be heading this way. Pah, said the king. We already know. Our scouts warned us that he was spotted in one of the nearby tunnels. 10 of my finest men and I are about to go and capture him. The king glanced over at the armed rats lying on the ground. What have you done? They were my best warriors. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, that might have been us, said Catface. Catface's dad looked uneasy, but he couldn't back down with the whole town watching. I see. No matter, he said nervously. I shall go with the rest of my men and capture Brian. I trained these warriors personally, and I have fought other snakes in my time. Brian poses no threat to our skills. A couple of the rats in the king's guard looked doubtfully at each other. Do you remember training him? One whispered. I remember him eating cakes and watching us train. I'm not sure that's the same thing, his friend whispered back. And you, my so-called son, continued the king, and you 2 cats who have come here to overthrow me, you shall come with me, so you can bear witness that I, Henrik Ratinov, 835th of my name, King of Camden, Regent's Park, Primrose Hill, and the outlying boroughs that I occasionally visit, twinned incidentally with Fredericksburg, Luxembourg and Mochudi in Botswana, am the true leader of these people, and that no snake can beat me. Guards, seize them. This guy has serious issues, Toto whispered to Silver as they were surrounded by even more rat guards. Should I take them out? Catface shook his head. I don't think so, little one. You can take on 100 rats, and to be frank, I think the only thing that can save my father from Brian is if we go along for the ride. For the first time, Toto felt scared. Had she finally bitten off more than a ninja cat should? And tune in again later for Chapter 7. I wonder what will be going on. Now, today's task from Chapter 6 is all about the sewers. What are sewers? When did they start to be built in London? And I wonder if anyone can find out when they started to be built in Bradford. And what is their job? Don't forget, email it to myself, Mrs. Erskine, Mrs. Omri, and we'll thoroughly look forward to reading your replies. Goodbye, children. Keep safe.